The story continues the N.J. Dawood translation of Al Quran. We will have some comments herein and some minor adjustments. In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful. Qasim. These are verses of the glorious book. In all truth, we shall account to you the tale of Moses and Pharaoh for the instruction of the faithful. Now Pharaoh made himself a tyrant in the land. He divided his people into castes, one group of which he persecuted, putting their sons to death and sparing only their daughters. Truly, he was an evildoer. Now, there's a Persian story that's similar, and I think there's a Hindu story that's similar as well, too. And obviously, that'd be the sort of thing that would have been done by tyrant rulers repeatedly, right? Would it be surprised? In a way, that's sort of things being done now, but not to a different extent, right? But it was our will to favor those who were oppressed in the land, and to make them leaders among men, to bestow on them a noble heritage, and to give them power in the land, and to inflict on Pharaoh, Haman, and their warriors the very scourge they dreaded. We revealed our will to Moses' mother, saying, give him the suck, but if you are concerned about his safety, then put him down the river. Have no fear, nor be dismayed, for we shall restore him to you and shall invest him with a mission. And selling your kid down the river, I'm not sure if that phrase ever relates to the whole Moses thing, because in Moses's case, it was okay. Other cases, no. But sometimes you're trapped, you're not going to make it. You let your kid loose in the flood, maybe the kid will make it. I understand somebody in desperation like that. Pharaoh's household picked him up so that he might become their adversary and their scourge. For Pharaoh, Haman, and their warriors were sinners all. And see, the pharaohs did fight. Some of the priests did fight, but they weren't technically the warrior class, but they were responsible for the warrior class. His wife said to Pharaoh, this child may bring joy to us both. Do not slay him. He may show promise, and we may adopt him as our son. But they knew little what they were doing. Moses' mother's heart was sorely troubled. She would have revealed who he was had we not given her strength so that she might become a true believer. She said to his sister, go and follow him. She watched him from a distance, unseen by others. Now we have caused him to refuse his nurse's breasts. His sister said to them, shall I direct you to a family who will bring him up for you and take good care of him? So nurses in the plural, right? So, they tried wet nurses on him and it wasn't working. And, oh, well, somebody's, but it could have been thought, well, this group has one method and this other group has another method, so let's try this other thing. There could have been more reason than just somebody, hey, I know somebody good at this. Maybe these other women aren't good at it. Thus, did we restore him to his mother, so that she might rejoice in him and grieve no more, and that she might realize that Allah's promise was true, yet most humans are not aware of this. Remember the gender neutral stuff here. And when he had reached maturity and grown to manhood, we bestowed on him wisdom and knowledge. Thus do we reward the righteous. He entered the town, unnoticed by its people, and found two men at each other's throats, the one of his own race, the other an enemy. The Israelite appealed for Moses' help against his enemy, so that Moses struck him with his fist and slew him. This is the work of Satan, said Moses. He is the sworn enemy of man and seeks to lead him astray. Forgive me, Lord, he said, for I have sinned against my own soul. And Allah forgave him, for he is the forgiving one. the merciful, he said, by the favor you have shown me, Lord, I vow that I will never lend a helping hand to wrongdoers. Next morning, as he was walking in the town in fear and caution, the man who sought his help the next day before cried out to him again for help. Clearly, said Moses, you are a quarrelsome man. And when Moses was about to lay his hands on their enemy, the Egyptian said, Moses, would you slay me as you slew that man yesterday? You are surely seeking to be a tyrant in the land, not an upright man. A man came running from the farthest end of the city. Moses, he cried, the elders are plotting to kill you. Fly for your life, if you will heed my counsel. He went away in fear and caution, saying, Lord, deliver me from these wicked people. His heart was in the right place. There was, some persecution stuff going on. And as he made his way towards Midian, he said, may the Lord guide me to the even path. When he came to the well of Midian, he found around it a multitude of men watering their flocks, and beside them 2 women who were keeping back their sheep. What is it that troubles you? We asked. They replied, we cannot water them until the shepherds have driven away their flocks. Our father is an aged man. Moses watered for them their sheep, and then retired to the shade, saying, Lord, I surely stand in need of the blessing which you have sent me. One of the 2 girls came bashfully towards him and said, my father calls you. He wishes to reward you for watering our flock. And when Moses went and recounted to him his story, the old man said, fear nothing. You are now safe from those wicked people. One of the 2 girls said, Father, take this man into your service. Men who are strong and honest are the best that you could hire. So it's not just the worldly things, it's the character of the individual that's important in choosing. The old man said, I will give you one of these 2 daughters of mine in marriage if you stay 8 years in my service, but if you wish it, you may stay 10. I shall not deal harshly with you. Allah willing, you shall find me an upright man. Now, whether you intend to do something or whatever, you say inshallah. If it, if you'd like it to be the case, inshallah. But don't use inshallah as if you don't intend to say something. That's not a respectful. In a way, that's kind of a blasphemy, isn't it? That you say inshallah, but you don't intend it that way. Of course, the president of the United States, currently while I'm recording this, is somebody who did use it in the inappropriate way. So be it between us, said Moses. Whichever term I shall fulfill, I trust I shall not be wronged. Allah is the witness of what we say. And when he had fulfilled his term and was journeying with his folk, Moses descried a fire on the mountainside. He said to his people, stay here, for I can see a fire. Perhaps I can bring you news or a lighted torch to warm yourselves with. When he came near, a voice called out to him from a bush in a blessed spot on the right side of the valley, saying, Moses, I am Allah, Lord of the universe. Throw down your staff. And when he saw it writhing like a serpent, he turned his back and fled, running on and on. Moses, said the voice, approach and have no fear. You are safe. Put your hand in your pocket. It will come out white, although unharmed. Now draw back your arm and do not stretch it out in terror. These are the 2 signs for your Lord, for Pharaoh and his people. Truly they are the sinful men. Now, one of the things in reference to the jinn in that language is a little pot with a little fire. And because they're fire beings, and the snake thing. And the word ends up meaning hidden beings or something. So jinn also means hidden beings, and their fire rings. And so maybe that's the connection of the fear of the snake, although there's some issues with snakes biting people. I'm not saying that, but Lord said in Moses, I have killed one of their number and fear that they will slay me. Aaron, my brother, is more fluent of tongue than I. Send him with me, that he may help me and confirm my words, for I fear they will reject me. He replied, we will strengthen your arm with your brother and will bestow such power on you both that none shall harm you. Set forth with our signs. You and those who follow you shall surely triumph. And when Moses came to them with our undoubted signs, they said, this is nothing but baseless sorcery, nor have we heard of the like among our forefathers. Moses replied, my Lord knows best the man who brings guidance from his presence and gains the reward of the hereafter. The wrongdoer shall never prosper. Nobles, said Pharaoh, you have no other God that I know of except me. Make me human bricks of clay and build for me a tower that I may climb up to the God of Moses. I am convinced that he is lying. And, so he's commanding Haman, the chief priest, House of Ammon, to go and do this. A lot of people thought, there's some sort of celestial marker for such and such deity, right? And no, it's not that there's some star in the sky and this is for this god and this is for that god. And okay, one of the ones that we don't list, maybe it's what he's talking about. No, astronomical observation doesn't work in that astrological way. I mean, people believe things until they bring things into their life, that they or take things from their life. Pharaoh and his warriors conducted themselves with arrogance and injustice in the land, thinking they would never be recalled to us. But we took him and his warriors, and we cast them into the sea. Considered the fate of evildoers. We made them leaders who called men to the fire, but on the day of resurrection none shall help them. In this world we laid a curse on them, and on the day of resurrection they shall be among the damned. After we had destroyed the first generations, we gave the book to Moses as a clear sign, a guide and a blessing for mankind, so that they might give thought. Now, some of these scriptures of old do remain among the people of previous generations. You were not present in the western side of the mountain when we charged Moses with his commission, nor did you witness the event. We raised many generations after him whose lives were prolonged. You did not dwell among the people of Midian, nor did you recite to them our revelations, but it was we who sent you forth. Now, some people, because they made the right decisions with their health and stuff like this, and a lot of those health decisions are the lawful and the wholesome that religion invites us towards. In fact, most of them really, all of them really, and to some degree, it doesn't prove that a person is right overall. Some things are just incidental, but yeah, one of the things we saw earlier in our reading of Koran here is that we're called towards the lawful and the wholesome. We're called to avoid that which is unnecessarily leading us towards our death, and whatever we find out that is, and I don't want to list things per se because we're on a social media platform. You were not present on the mountainside when we called out, yet have we sent you forth as a blessing from your Lord to forewarn a nation to whom no one has been sent before, so that they may take heed and may not say when evil befalls them on account of their misdeeds, Lord, had you sent us an apostle, we should have obeyed your revelations and believed in them. And now that they have received the truth from us, they ask, why is he not given the like of what was given to Moses? But do they not deny what was formerly given to Moses? They say 2 works of sorcery, complementing one another, and they declare, we will believe in neither of them. say, bring down from a law, scripture that is a better guide than these, and I will follow it if what you say is true. And see, that's the thing. We believe in all the scriptures of God. But stuff that's just slapped with the name of Moses or Solomon or something, not necessarily. But as far as what was there, actually, rather than changed and put in later, that's something we believe in. And if one isn't, somebody saying that they're a prophet isn't on the right path, well, then the scripture can be brought to correct them, right? But it wasn't that one prophet was right and then the other one, but the previous ones were wrong. No, that's not what happens. If they make you no answer, know that they are the slaves of their desire. And who is in greater error than the man who is led by his desire without guidance from a law? A law does not guide the evildoers. Now, so people see practical atheism just how bad it can be, because you feel like doing something and it's right. Got to have more to it than that, right? Because a person can end up feeling like doing anything, and not necessarily of any fault of their own too, because we're programmed and exposed to stuff. We have caused the word to reach them so that they may give thought. Those to whom we gave the scriptures before this believed in it. When it is recited to them, they say, we believe in it. It is the truth from our Lord. We surrendered ourselves to him long before it came. Twice shall their reward be given them, because they have endured with fortitude, requiting evil with good, and giving in alms from what we gave them, and because they pay no heed to idle talk, but say, we have our actions, and you have yours. We wish you peace. We will have nothing to do with ignorant men. You cannot guide whomever you please. It is Allah who guides whom he will. He best knows those who yield to guidance. They say, if we accept your guidance, we shall be driven from our land. But have we not given them a sanctuary of safety, to which fruits of every kind are brought as a provision from ourselves? Indeed, most of them have no knowledge. How many nations have we destroyed, who once flourished in wanton ease? The dwellings they left behind are but scarcely inhabited. We ourselves were their only heirs, nor did your Lord destroy the nations until he had sent apostles to their capital cities, proclaiming to them our revelations. We destroyed those cities only because their inhabitants were wrongdoers. The things you have been given are but the provision and the gaudy show of this present life. Better is Allah's reward and more lasting. Have you no sense to reason with? Can he who has received our gracious promise and will see it fulfilled be compared with him, to whom we have given the comforts of this life, and who will be summoned on the day of resurrection? On that day, Allah will call them, saying, where are the gods whom you allege to be my partners? Those who have justly earned our doom will say, Lord, these are the men whom we misled. We led them astray as we ourselves were led astray. We plead guiltless before you. It was not us that they worshipped. They then will be told, call on your idols, partners. And they will call on them, but they shall get no answer. They shall behold the scourge and wish that they were rightly guided. Now, something that was misassociated with, I don't think idols is found to be as widely understood as those that were given, that were falsely associated as having divinity, They should behold the scourge and wish they were rightly guided. And a lot of that, people can feel a certain way praying to anything really, right? But that doesn't mean that it can hear you. And channeling, for example, is mostly people just evoking in themselves a certain mode. On that day, Allah will call to them, saying, what answer did you give our apostles? And on that day, such will their confusion be, that they will ask no questions, but those that repent and embrace the faith and do what is right may hope for salvation. The Lord creates what he will and chooses freely, but their gods have no power to choose. Glorified and exalted be he above their false gods. Your Lord knows what their bosoms hide and what they reveal. He is Allah. There is no God but him. Praise is his in this world and in the hereafter. His is the judgment, and to him you shall be recalled. And people praise other things, but the thing is, what it's saying is that the praise is due to God. All this worship is due to God, and any well speaking or hailing of others can be done through that consciousness, rather than treating people as intercessors or whatever. Say, think if Allah should enshroud you in perpetual night till the day of resurrection, what other God could give you light? Will you not hear? Say, think if Allah should give you perpetual day until the day of resurrection, what other God could bring you the night to rest in? Will you not see of his mercy he has given you the night that you may rest in it, and the day that you may seek his bounty and give thanks? On that day he will call out to them, saying, where are the gods whom ye allege to be my partners? From every community we will bring forth a witness, and we will say to them, show us your proof. Then shall they realize that the truth is Allah's, and the gods of their own invention will forsake them. Korah was one of Moses' people, but he treated them unjustly. We had given him such treasures that their very keys would have weighed down a band of sturdy men. His people said to him, do not exult in your riches. Allah does not love the exultant, but seek by means of that which Allah has given you to attain the abode of the hereafter. Do not forget your share in this world. Be good to others as Allah has been good to you, and do not strive for evil in the land, for Allah does not love the evildoers. The mu, that's the character trait of an evildoer. But he replied, those riches were given me on account of the knowledge I possess. Did he not know that from among the generations gone before him, Allah destroyed some who were mightier and more avaricious than he? The wrongdoers shall not be questioned about their sins. And when he went out in all his finery among his people, those who loved this nether life said, would that we had the like of Qarun's fortune. He is indeed a lucky man. And Qarun is the ancient Egyptian term for the exalting of the names. So this guy was the propagandist, the chief scribe. Obviously, a priest would have been a scribe too, but But those who were endowed with knowledge said, alas for you, better is the reward of Allah for him that has faith and does good works, but none shall attain it save those who have endured with fortitude. We caused the earth to swallow him together with his dwelling, so that he found none beside Allah to protect him, nor was he able to defend himself. And those who on the day before had coveted his lot, next morning said, behold, Allah gives abundantly to whom he will, and sparingly to whom he pleases. But for the grace of Allah, he could have caused the earth to swallow us. Behold, the ungrateful shall never prosper. As for the abode of the hereafter, we shall assign it to those who seek neither grandeur on the earth, nor evil doing. The righteous shall have a blessed end. He that does good shall be rewarded with what is better, but he that does evil shall be requited according to his deeds. He who has committed the Al-Quran to your keeping will surely bring you home again. Say, my Lord best knows him who brings guidance and him who is in evident error. Now, backing up what's in Surah 22 and some other places, the revelation to a prophet, well, that's preserved with that prophet. It's not going to be corrupted through their own mouth. It's not going to have parts of it lost. That happens after them. Never did you expect the book to be revealed to you, Yet through your Lord's mercy, you have received it. Therefore, no help to the unbelievers give. Let no one turn you away from Allah's revelations now that they have been revealed to you. Call men to your Lord and serve none beside him. Invoke no other as God with Allah. There is no God but him. All things shall perish except himself. He is the judgment, and to him you shall be recalled. Now see, the whole alpha omega thing is there, created after the creation. Things have an end, things have a change, except, the one that ultimately created it all. And us too, once we've encountered these things, once we've encountered these scriptures, it's for us to sit there and like, okay, we have to turn towards what we have and not turn away with it. These things are to be followed.